Hi there, it's the Outdoor Witch and I hope you're doing really well. So I started to do this video outside and then it started to rain, so I'm gonna shoot it inside. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? So today's video is actually a story that I wanted to share with you. Something that happened to me some time ago with a horse, a young filly, a 1-year-old, and I thought that story really illustrates how animals and humans can support each other when it comes to overcome challenges, heal wounds, or grow, heal and grow in so many ways. So that's the story for today, and I hope it inspires you as well on your own journey, whether it's just yourself or with one of your beloved pets. So let's dive into it. I will keep the story short. If you want the long one, I've written a blog post. I'll put the link in the description box below with all the details, okay? But I'm going to share with you the big lines of this story because it highlighted for me 5 major life lessons that you can apply to human and animals, or just for yourself in your own path, own journey. And yeah, so I will keep the story as short as I can, and then we'll dive into these 5 lessons or 5 keys to master your life that this horse has highlighted for me. So some time ago I was staying at a horse farm. It's actually for me a horse garden because it's so nice. It's a really beautiful place for young horses, owned by a friend. And so they are breeding horses over there for other people, for their other owners. And the mare usually stay nearly all their life there, when the colts and the fillies are staying for a couple of years before they move to their new place. And every time I go there, whether it's on my own or with my whole tribe, as we were this time, like the 16 dogs, the 2 horses, and also my cat, of course. Whenever I go there, I love to help. So I'm always helping with the horses, with the horse work, the stable work, everything, because I just really enjoy it. And at this time of the year, they are taking all the horses to the summer pasture, as they are also allowed to have wonderful holidays in large green pastures. So they were moving all of them, and some were loaded in the trailer because one of the pastures is too far away. And they were nearly done with those to be loaded when they arrived to that last filly, who just didn't want to load at all. It was like, no, I'm not gonna go in there, no way. And when I get there, she was starting to really freak out. She was writhing and starting to kick her feet, front leg in the air. It's quite a tall yearling, so it's impressive, and it was getting dangerous. So I offered my help. I knew the team was really busy, and I had time. I was there like on mini holidays, so I offered my help with this youngster, and so they can keep on with their work. And so I took over, and here I was dealing with this young girl that I will call Uma for the sake of this video, but that's not her real name. Even if she's a horse, I want to keep her privacy. So, yeah. So I was like, okay, girl, we're gonna make it together. It might take some time, but it's gonna be fine. We're gonna do base work with you, and hopefully be able to load you in the trailer and take you to the pasture. Little did I know that it would take me some time, because I didn't really know what happened, but she didn't like the show that had been organized at the farm some time ago to show all the horses, all the young horses, to the public. And that's something common they do over there. The owners are taking the horses in turn and showing their horse, who will be put for sale later on. So, well, she apparently didn't like that, and after that event she had started to change behavior. That was the little background information I had when I started working with Uma. So we started working together, and my first session with her, it was the same evening after that first attempt to load her in the trailer. I went to her field. She was close to the main stable, and it took me about half an hour to have her follow me around the paddock. She just didn't want to move. I could go close to her, but once I had her on the halter and rope, she was just like standing still, not moving a single hoof. So yeah, it was really all about building the trust, and that's all the work I did for the next 2 weeks. So it went step by step. So first I really had just to take her out of her pasture on her own, without her friend Mare that she was sharing the pasture with. And then it was step by step walking down the alley without having her rise up in the air and backing off like completely freaked out. Walking towards the main stable was the biggest issue. We overcame that, and then I took her closer to the trailer, get used to the trailer, and step by step we were really building the trust, and she was really following me, following my lead with more and more ease every day. At some point we managed to be halfway up on the rump of the trailer, so she was really doing great progress, but in a way kind of slow. And at some point we plateaued. Like for 2 sessions in a row I couldn't get her further than a certain point. That was the 2 front feet on the rump. Oh my, it's really raining heavy now. I hope you don't hear it on the video. Anyway, sorry about that. Okay. And that's when my ego kicked in. Suddenly I was like, oh, maybe my method doesn't work. Maybe I should do it, be a bit more pushy, or do it in another way, or find another way. Maybe we're too slow with the progress. Because I was not going to stay there for so many more days, and I was like kind of having this time pressure. I also knew they had to take her to the pasture quite soon, so I was like, getting in my head. And I listened to one of the advice, who was to try and load the older mare first and have her follow. That's how they usually do it with the young yearlings and the young horses. And usually it works really well. But I was like, yeah, it didn't work the first time, but maybe now let's give it a try. So that's what we did. My husband helped. We loaded that first horse, and then I tried again with Uma, and she just completely freaked out again. And she was like, no, wait, I'm not gonna go in there. There's something new. And she was not. We didn't plateau it anymore. We just went back like 2 sessions together. She was really standing far from the trailer, really freaked out by that other horse inside, and she didn't feel comfy at all. So I was like, oh God, Rach, you shouldn't have used that. You knew she didn't feel confident when so close from that horse. Why did you do that? Okay, so take that other horse out. We resume our session, and I tried to get her at least as far as we ended up last time, but it took me a while. So that was it for that day, and I was not so happy with myself. Take a breather, let her rest as well. But still, I was like, okay, maybe there must be a more efficient way to have it work. So I look up in the internet, find maybe the solution I didn't know about, something different to work with a yearling and etc. And I found that method that is really well known in the horsemanship world. And I felt like, oh, okay, if it worked for so many horses, it must work with her. So for my next session, I was super convinced that I'm gonna get her on the trailer. I went there, like very different way of being, a bit more, assertive. And I took her out of the field. She was following me now very nicely. And I started with that other method. And oh boy, wait. Yeah, sorry, I had to stop the video. We had hail, so I went out and take the horses in, and yeah, now I'm back. Less background noise, I hope. Yeah, so I was saying that this other method totally freaked Uma out, and actually myself too. I wasn't feeling comfy at all doing it. I felt completely off, to be honest, and now it wasn't right at all for me to do that this way. And so I kept on for a while, like, yeah, you know, have to really keep trying, do it. You can't give up so quickly, and so on. And then I was like, nah, doesn't matter. I'm losing her trust now, and it doesn't feel right. So even though I have to be slower than this, I'm going to stop that. And I stopped it. I stopped that method. And for a while, I just took Amy. We stand two of us in the middle of the yard. I was really feeling stressed myself, so nearly upset. So I had to calm myself down first, and then I could calm her down. Like really getting back to who we were, not like trying to act in a way that wasn't mine, that wasn't made for her. And yeah, so that's what I did. I stood there for a while, doing nothing, completely at a loss, like, hey, okay, so what now? Should I resume working like before? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? So I stood there for a good while. And suddenly I had this impulse to just walk very slowly, my back to her, just do one step at a time towards the trailer and see what she would do. And so I did one step, and I heard her move the feet and just push me gently with her nose. And then we kept on like this for, I don't know how long it took, I really have no idea. But we walked all the way to the trailer this way, one step at a time. I was playing Mama Horse. And then I said, okay, all right, give it a try. And I went up the ramp and into the trailer. And she followed me through all the way. Like, she went all the way inside the trailer for the first time ever. And I was like, oh my God, it's working. She's following me. And I felt so happy. And she was like, you know, chewing at the hay that was there in this bag that we hang in the front of the trailer for the horses to eat while we transport them. And she was like chewing quite peacefully inside, and I felt so happy. But then she got scared by a horsefly, and she knocked the buckle of a rope against the bar, the front bar, and it made that noise. And so she backed off quite scared and off the trailer again. But anyway, she had done it once, she could do it again. And she freaked out, but she didn't back off so far away, and I was able to load her again, nearly as far as she had just been. So we did this a few times, and then I let her rest. And I was like, okay, great, now she's going to make it. So I just postponed my departure so I could work with her just another day and give it a try if she would be ready for us to close the gate behind her, and so we could take her to the pasture. So I gave that last try the next day, but no, she wasn't. We still went up all the way, and then she would back off gently, but she would back off. So at that point, I was like feeling so disappointed, and then immediately something kicks in and was like, Rachel, why are you disappointed? Is it like, have you missed something? Have you failed? What was the point there? And I realized that the point was to see all the progresses that this horse has accomplished in only 2 weeks. I mean, she's a 1-year-old, she knew nothing about all that, and she was now following the lead very easily. She's walking super nicely on the rope and halter. She goes into the main stable without any problem when she used to freak out. She's not scared of the tractor. She walks all around the trailer without any problem. She's not afraid of the dogs barking. Everything. I mean, she had accomplished so much, in such a short period of time, in a way. So I had to be okay with my role having brought her to that point where she would walk inside the trailer but not be ready yet for the door to be closed on her. And I mean, that was already huge. And the relationship we built and the trust that she now had regained in humans, that was amazing. So I put my ego to the side and was like, no, I have to be okay with that. She's not ready, but we did an amazing job. And I have to be happy with myself too. And so that was it. My friend took over from there, and I know he's working on a regular basis with her, but she's still not really ready. I think they were trying to load her maybe today or tomorrow to go to the pasture. Really, so I hope it's going to work, and I'll keep you posted. Okay, so now I wanted to give you the 5 lessons that I learned from that 1-year-old. And it's lessons that we can apply to animals, but also to ourselves when it comes to healing and our self-growth, self-development. The first one is listen to your heart. And when your mind says something, but your heart says otherwise, listen to your heart. Because your heart knows much better. Your heart knows what is true for yourself. And what is going to be in alignment with you and what is going to work for you. To go back onto that story, it's not that other method was wrong or bad. It was just not appropriate to me and to that horse. And I knew it deep down. And I'm not saying it's rubbish or whatever, absolutely not. I mean, it's working for many other people, many other horses. But it has to fit you. And when something is not a right fit for you, listen to your heart. Now, the second lesson is always listen and respect the animal pace. The pace they can handle, the rhythm or the speed at which they can work and process something. Some need much more time, and depending on what happened in their life or how sensitive they are, they might need much more time than another. And that's okay. And it's just the same with you. Sometimes you need more time. You need to process things. It's okay to make 3 steps forward and then stop for a while and having this feeling that not much is happening. But trust yourself, trust that animal you are working with. They'll show you what is right for them. They will show you the right pace, at which speed you can make progress or move on to the next exercise, and really respect that. And the third key or the third lesson is actually in relation to this one, and it's always to be in the present moment whenever you're working with an animal. Always be here and now, because then you will read and understand them at a much deeper level than when you're lost in your head. And whenever you're not here in your heart, you're in your head, and then you're either in the future thinking about how things should be, or like making plans, or you're in the past, but it didn't work last time, and making all this comparison with things you used to know or you have lived. So really staying in the present moment. And I think this is something we should all learn to be more present, to be more in the here and now, and see life through these lenses, the lenses of the here and now, and not the lenses of the brain and not the thinking forward or thinking backwards. Which leads me to the 4th lesson, and this is trust the process. When something feels really right, when your action feels really right, but it's like it doesn't work at the speed you want, don't rush it, but don't give up. Trust that things are happening in the background. Trust that there's really something happening. Even when that little horse was plateauing, she was not. She was processing all the information, all the things she was learning at such a high speed, in a way, high paced. I mean, we were doing many things for a 1-year-old, and so she needed time to process. So you might yourself feel more tired, you might need some time off, you might feel like you're not learning anymore. For instance, when you're learning a language, at some point you feel like you're not learning anymore, you're plateauing, you don't understand as much as you should. It's okay. It's your brain processing everything. It's you really getting the information at a much deeper level. So be okay with that. Be tolerant with animals when you work with them, and be tolerant to yourself when it comes to you and your own personal journey. Don't give up, but don't rush it. And the very last one that was highlighted by that story is follow the energy. Don't try to make it happen. Don't push against things. Don't try to figure things out, but follow what comes naturally. Follow what the next step is naturally coming to you. And if you don't know, stand still and wait. So it means maybe if it's for you, take a day off, take a breather, or if you cannot take a day off, just take a break on that specific topic you're trying to improve or you're trying to move forward, or a project. Just take some time, stop. Don't try to make it happen. Really don't try to figure out, because figuring out is extremely exhausting and it's all in your head. There's nothing in your heart. And when you stop, you stand still and you wait for the next step to be shown to you. Then it's so easy to follow what the energy is showing you. It's like the path is lighting up for you. And that's when things are just easily flowing, naturally flowing. Easier. So I put the link to that article if you want to read it. It's about a 10 minutes read. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you're new, maybe consider subscribing if you enjoyed that video. I'll post video on a regular basis here, and I also write quite a lot of articles on my blog. So yeah, just feel free to go and check that. And I hope to see you in another video. Thank you once again for being here today, and I wish you a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.